right, it's time. So if you're in the chat, just give me a quick hey so I know you're watching and making sure everything is working a-okay. Looks like it, maybe. I see some people are in the chat. It doesn't look like all of them are showing up, so I'm just gonna restart my chat really quick because it seems to be an ongoing thing lately. There we go. See if we get all of them in here. Yep, all the channels are in there now. Cool. So just before we get started, it's right at 9 o'clock. I'm probably gonna wait about 5 minutes or so. If you're not already a part of the Brograph Slack, come hang out with us and chat about Redshift and Octane and everything in between. You can read the description here. If you just go to brograph.com/slack, it's turning into a pretty fun, big community. So I just wanted to start off with that. What's up, Nick? How are you, man? What's up, Steve? How are you? Michael, what's up, dude? Cool. Getting some interactive people tonight. So yeah, we're gonna take a look at the tutorial I released earlier this week, just how to get started with hooking up textures. I do have like an addendum that I need to make to the tutorial. I forgot one thing and learned another thing, so I just need to make a couple quick notes on that. If you've already watched that tutorial, 2 a.m. Man, screw that. Ugh. Let's see, 2 a.m. Are you in the UK? That seems about like UK time, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up. And this is just a hair experiment I was doing earlier. No. Yes, I can save that. Save that, sure. Man. Well, I'm sorry you were up at 2 a.m. That sucks. I try not to go past 9 or 10 o'clock most of the time. So you know what? In the tutorial, I did like a rock thing. I think I'm gonna do something a little different. I think I'm gonna do a tree. So let's go ahead and go get something from Megascans. Let's see. Nope, too far. Megascans. Wood tree. We can do this. Please play along, hard drive. So yeah, as I was saying in the beginning, I learned something more about roughness maps since the tutorial came out, because there's been so many comments and people interacting. So I'm gonna go over that too, but most of it's gonna be the same, just a couple little addendums to the initial tutorial. Yeah, we'll start with this. It's gonna be big file. That's all right. Let this load up. It's probably a ton of polys. That's not too bad. All right, so we've got this tree in here. It's looking pretty fun. The native C4D noise shader with Blair. Blair Walker, what's up, dude? That's awesome. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, I can talk about the noise shader in a little bit. Just remind me if the chat gets going and your comment slips up and I don't see it, just remind me. But I can go over that for sure. So I've got this tree here. I'm just gonna label it tree, keep everything nice and neat. If you've noticed, I've kind of reorganized my layout a little bit. I'm keeping attributes over here just because it kind of reminds me of Houdini a little bit, keeping that information there. So if you're looking for stuff, objects are here, attributes here, materials, and shader graph. So let's go ahead and make a material, and we'll call this tree, and throw it on the tree. Probably should get a light in here of some sort, so let's go ahead and do a dome. And I'm going to use the new Manhattan Nights lights because these things are awesome. Go buy them. Cool, like that. Let's take a look, see. And let's turn off the background. We don't need that. All right, so let's go find this thing open, and 3D tree. So what we're gonna need is albedo, which is actually diffuse. We'll bring in a displacement, and we're gonna need our roughness and normal. I think that's it for this one. You can use specular. It's more for video games. I generally don't use it, but if you want to, you can. You know, I may have to do this a couple times. Usually there's an ambient occlusion asset included. Doesn't look like there's one for this one, but it will still be fun to just work on. And before I drag that in there, let me just make sure I'm in the shader graph. Cool, like so. All right. So we've got normal, roughness, displacement we're going to put down here, and albedo there. So something I forgot to go over, or I don't know that I forgot to go over this part, but something that I learned is that even roughness maps, you want to make linear when they come in. Pretty much anything that's black and white. What's up? Is it Gachi? Cool. I'm not bringing the bump just because it's doesn't seem worth it. Like a normal map has more detail usually than a bump map, so it's just not really worth it. So I forgot to say this for the roughness, and I think I covered it for normal and displacement, but a roughness map also needs to be linear, and so the way you do that is add this. So a lot of people have been having trouble getting normal maps looking right and displacements looking right, and something that I learned and was talking about in the previous tutorial that just came out this week is that you actually have to set these things to linear for them to work properly, and then you can actually see displacements going correctly. And the other thing that you have to do is make sure that you're getting your values correctly too. I didn't know about that. So you need to set it to -1 to +1. You have to remap it. So I'll go over that too. Just a lot of little quirks hooking these things up in Redshift. It's not quite straightforward. So albedo is going to go into your diffuse. This is just a diffuse, and PC is just going to process the texture for a second. So you'll see we've got that in there now. And roughness just goes in the specular, or sorry, the reflection roughness right here. So we can go down reflection, roughness, and hook that up. And you'll see it gets nice and kind of dry. It's no longer got that high shine on it. So if you don't know, or if you've been running on older versions of Redshift, the bump node is now going to be the default. There's no longer going to be a normal node. They're deprecating that. So we can go ahead and just throw this in here, go to texture input, and then under input map type, we want to set that to tangent. And we'll go ahead and hook this back up. Go to overall bump, And while that processes the texture, you'll see in a second that we'll get some bump in there. And so I'm going to go into Photoshop in just a second and take a look, but I think what we're going to have to do is remap this texture just so we get some negative bump on there too, and we have to do that with the displacement as well. So let's do a not a remap. What's the word I'm looking for? Not constant. Oh man, losing my mind tonight already. Volume, lights, utilities. I'm pretty certain it's in utilities. And not the ramp. Why am I blanking on this? As soon as I see it, I'm going to be like, duh, what's wrong with me? Change range, duh. There we go. Remap, change range. Just having a moment. So, all right. So what we're going to do, you'll see, is old range 1, old range 1. So actually, you know what? I want clamp, don't I? Is it clamp? No. I don't think this is actually the node that I want. I really want... See, I should have just done it when people were telling me that you need to remap it. Math. No. It's not going to be any of these. Definitely not vector. All right, we'll try it like this. This does, I guess you can go, yeah, you can't go to -1. I'll worry about that in a minute. Hopefully if I don't think about it, it will come back to me, the node that I need to grab, because that's obnoxious. All right, come on. Process your texture, there we go. All right, so for displacement, we need to make sure we have a displacement or a Redshift tagged on and enable displacement. So what we're going to do is go into geometry, and because it's a high poly mesh, I don't think we really need to mess with the tessellation, but we'll try this, and then if we need to raise it up and subdivide some more, we can do that. So a lot of people will hook this up and then start cranking on displacement, and that's not actually right. And if you're one of those people, then this will probably help you out. So hook up our displacement into here, and we're going to pipe it into displacement on the output. It's going to process for a second. And you'll see on this tree that it will start to displace, but it's not going to be proper. And this is where the remapping will like really come in handy, but we'll start with this. Oh, there, okay. Old range, new range. That's what I really wanted, right in there. So, see, we got this little bit of displacement in there, but it's not really anything. So let's go ahead and bump this up to like 10 by 10. And now you'll see it will displace, but it's actually only going to displace in one direction, because this range is set from 0 to 1 instead of -1 to 0. See, it gets all weird and blown out that way. So if I go in here and go -1, this should cure it. There you go. Now, because I've set the displacement so high, it looks really rotten. So if we come in here, it looks like we've got like fungus on here, and that's not really what we want. So we can probably set this displacement to actually like 5. And Theodore, you were asking about the mixing in a bump too. The other thing that you can do is just have enable bump mapping on here. So it'll automatically add some bump map layer into it, or like texturing into it. See, now that I took it away, I kind of liked how funky it was looking. I think it just gets a little too big the other way. I don't know why my menu keeps popping up like that. That's weird. Oh well. All right, so got to do the same thing for remapping down here. Or at least that's what I was told, but can't. So, all right, I'm just gonna do unbiased normal, see if that adds any more texture. So apparently it's mostly just the displacement, because you can't remap it right in there. Or at least it's not letting me. Maybe it's something from the old normal map that it used to do. Anyway, so that's the one like main little detail in here, is you want to have your range remapped to -1 and then max of 1 here. You can of course go farther. Like if I go 2, you'll see it will displace even more out. Then it looks all weird. So just keep it -1 to 1. There we go. And that's pretty much it. You know, this is a really high poly count already. I can go in and add some more subdivision, and that's probably overkill at this point. So versus mixing the bump normal with the bump blend, this is more cost effective. It's a little bit more cost effective because you're not processing multiple textures. There's just more detail in a normal map too, because a normal map, the reason why it's all purple, let me just pull one up. Where is the normal map in here? There we go. And so the reason why it's kind of purple like this is it's the red, green, and blue values mixing together. So if you look in your viewport, red being X, green being Y, and Z being blue. And that's how it conveys the information. So with a bump map, you're only getting black and white information, so X and Y. And with bump map, you can actually get full 3D information that way. And I'll just jump back into that really quick. So that's how you can get all these details in here. If you were to really zoom in on it, you'd see little slivers of green, like right in here. There's a little bit of green coming through, and then if you looked in other places, there'd just be like a hard red coming through. And that's really driving those details. So it kind of is a little bit more cost effective. You can do it. It'll give you a little bit more information, but I don't think that it's really worth it, especially now with the combination bump map here being set to like tangent space, and then if you bring in a bump, then you have to set that one to its proper, and then you're kind of mixing tangent space and height field information instead of just keeping it all together. So no, it works. I just think it's kind of overkill. So I'm just going to come in and zoom in on this. We can really take a look at the detail now that I bumped up the light. And we'll just do a quick little bucket render, even though I don't have GI on. Let me go get some GI for us. Just do a quick brute force. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. So if we come and take a look at that, you can just see how much detail we're getting in this now. So I totally admit doing it wrong in the past. Like I just didn't realize you had to convert things to linear, especially coming from like the Redshift world, or sorry, the Arnold world, where it kind of just does it. Like it knows when you hook things up that it needs to be linear, or it needs to be RGB, which I forgot to mark in here too. That was one other thing. Make sure for albedo that you, because it has color space, that you mark it as sRGB. So that's just one thing there. As you can see, it hasn't really made a difference on how this looks. But a lot of nice fine detail all in there. So pretty cool. I wish this had an ambient occlusion map like I did in the tutorial. Let me see if I can find something really quickly. I don't want to do something flat again, but maybe that's the best way to do it. Mushrooms have it. No. Maybe a log will. No, that's all right. But that's all right. You guys get the idea. So does anyone's Redshift crash when you load render view app? Yeah, that's on the forum. If you go check out the forum, I've been reporting it. So I have an issue now when I start up Redshift that if I go right into the render view, it'll lock up and the whole thing will turn white. So I have to like open Redshift or open Cinema, pause for a moment, open the IPR, pause for a moment, and then open the render view. It's been happening since 2.5.53 and every version since. And I've been submitting files to Costas and trying to get it handled. There's quite a few people on there, so it's a known issue. All right, so up top, somebody was asking about something. So run through using C4D native noise shader without getting seams. I think I might be able to figure that out. Let's take a look. I'm gonna just close this out. Don't need to save it. Turn off bucket. So let's get a sphere in here. Apparently my viewport likes to blink black now. Really hope that's not like a SP2 thing. I haven't noticed that before. Cool. This is fun. So material, and we'll throw it on here. My mic is super low. Oh, you know what? I didn't turn it up all the way. How about now? Is that better? Sorry about that. When I had the loading screen on before, the intro screen, I had my mic turned down. So hopefully that should help. I only turned it up about halfway. Sorry. Cool. So for seams with a normal Redshift texture. All right. So let's go in here. We're going to do, or not normal Redshift, normal Cinema 4D. So C4D, let's grab this shader here. The way we hook it up is you have to plug it into a texture. So I'm going to go ahead and pipe this into here, general image, text 0, hook this in to our diffuse color. So you are welcome. Thanks for joining. So one thing you want to do to start is make sure you've got your texture size much bigger. So I'm going to do 1024 by 1024. I'm going to set this to 16-bit. The way this works and Redshift handles Cinema 4D textures is it bakes it out. So when you connect it into the texture node, it's actually saving out a .tx file, the Redshift texture file. And let's just do noise. That's what you said, right? A noise. That would seem. So here we go with noise, and it's pretty fast. I mean, I think it makes a big difference on final render time when you're just previewing. It doesn't seem to make that big of a deal, but final render it definitely seems to. All right, so we've got that going. Why don't I go ahead and do like 48 segments, kind of smooth this out. So right there is where you're talking about with this seam. So just like any other texture, you can now add this into a triplanar. So we can just throw that in there. What a triplanar is going to do is just overlap the image with itself to help remove seams. You can see it's still kind of causing seams. And this is a known issue too. There's like a weird scaling thing. So you have to use a divide, and Merck, if you guys know who Merck is, Merck Wilson, figured this out. If you use a divide and put it into the scale here, it'll actually scale things properly. So we set the second input to 100, and this first one we can just go to 1, Then we can start to adjust. You can see we still get that seam. It should be blending a little bit more. I'm surprised it's not blending better. Who asked this question? Let me go back and look. Michael, if you're still watching, is this the issue that you're having with the texture? Because I honestly never use the C4D shader. So let me just try. Whoop, I want it on X, Y, and Z. Don't disconnect. All right, I'm gonna pause that for a second because it's freaking out apparently. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, X, got it on Y and Z. Cool. Scale down here. All right, let's try again. Still, why? Oh man. Michael, you asked, is this what's happening to you? I'm gonna turn off wrap. Nope, that did not make it happy. Try world space, see if that does anything different. Interesting. So this may just be a shortcoming of working with a normal Cinema 4D material, because that's really obnoxious. Because right here, these should be blending right in there. All right, so more stuff to report on the forum. That's really obnoxious because it actually seems like it's making it worse to go in with a triplanar, which that doesn't make sense. It should make it better. So there's our seam there. Let me just turn off the wrap, see what happens. Cool. All right, thanks, Michael. Do you like Mike or Michael? I just went and assumed. Man, that is really annoying. I wonder what it is about the... I'm going to just drop down to 8-bit to see what it is about this that it doesn't loop. Absolute, nope. What's up, Mark? Can I sell my soul to you for Cinema 4D and Octane Render? Like for a license of each? I mean, I can't speak for Brograph. They just are nice and let me stream on their channel. But that would be kind of cool if they did a giveaway. I have thought about that, about doing a giveaway for a Redshift license. Wow, this is obnoxious. Just, I want to see if I plug it into... If you guys don't know about this is something that kind of comes in handy sometimes. Oh, really? Won't even let me do it that way? All right, let's try it this way. Viewport, see if it updates in the viewport. No. That's silly. All right, so Mike, I think this is something that needs to be reported on the forums because this is stupid. I'm sorry that you're going through this. This should really work. Like there shouldn't really be anything that prevents it from being seamless, especially with the triplanar. And the triplanar should definitely not make it worse. So, man. Dude, just buy a copy. Especially, like, if you have 5 days to get it for $380. Yeah, if you're watching this and you don't own a license, or actually, I'm going to take a small poll. I wish I had the YouTube channels up and I could do a poll, but who in the channel has a license, is thinking about getting a license, or doesn't have a license. Because this week, right now, it's on sale for $400, but if you buy it through Tool Farm, you can get it for $380. You don't have $380 to spend on it. Well, I guess you have to save up to get it. But for like that's pretty awesome considering what Arnold costs, and then I guess Octane has its subscription model, so it's a little bit cheaper. But Mark, you're about to start this awesome new job. The sale is on until the 20th, so that is what? Let's see. Next Tuesday. You've downloaded the demo, Michael. Cool. Yeah, the demo is always a few versions behind too. So if anyone's using the demo and if anyone's watching and using the demo, I am on version 2.5.58, I think. Let me check. I was using the experimental build. That seems pretty solid. I'm excited for that. Let's see, 2.5.58. I think the demo build is 2.5.53 or 5.5, something like that. It's just a couple versions behind. So if you have trouble with something and you see me doing something and it's not working for you, that just be aware of that. You're just gonna troll David and Brograph until they hook you up. Well, I mean, if you want a Cinema 4D license, if you can prove that you're a student, or not even a student, but just not going to use it for commercial work and want to learn the software, they have ways of getting licenses to people. So you should reach out to Maxon. This is kind of a cool pattern, except for the seam there. So let's see, I'm going to scroll back up, see if I missed any other questions. Crashing one makes sense. Cool. Man, we're already half hour into this. That's craziness. Are you going? So yeah, I mean that's how I started. I started as a student, and then it rolled over to a non-commercial license, and then when I could afford it, I just bought it. So, if I'm sitting here waiting for questions from people, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of work on something that the client had asked me about earlier. Yeah, Maxon's super cool. Especially Matthias. Matthias has, I think, like an educational thing that he's trying to roll out. So he might be a good resource if you find him. I think he's Major VFX on Twitter. But dude, Mark, go to Tool Farm, and it's on sale there. So toolfarm.com. Here I'll walk everyone through it. Toolfarm.com. We'll go to Redshift. You're going to see it's on sale for $400 here. But they have an awesome code. Also, you need to sign up with an email address. So I'm just going to put mine in, liam@531.com. Make sure you have a Redshift address. If you use coupon code HIGH5, you get an extra 5% off, and it drops it down to $380. Green Screen did, though. I don't think I know that code. Green Screen? Green Screen. Huh. I didn't know about that one. So High 5 or Green Screen. All right, so all right, IES lights. Do I ever use them? I do know how to use them. I don't ever use them. I'm trying to figure out if it's worthwhile to go that route. If you're gonna do interior lighting, then IES lights are definitely the way to go. I'll use one in this scene if you want. IES, because I've got some. They're generally free if you just do a search for them. I think in here, IES, yeah, I've got some. Let's do umbrella, sure. Umbrella.ies. So there we go. And now I've got an umbrella light here. And I can bring that up. So yeah, the nice thing about them is they're really accurate. I just never think about it. But if you're going to do any kind of ArcViz rendering or things like that, totally useful. And you can, most manufacturers hand them out for free. So like here, we'll do a star one. And it's super focused, so I have to get really close for it to even show up. Maybe like 50. There we go. So it's almost like a sexy spotlight almost, because that fall off's really cool. What else do we have while we're talking about IES? Pair. Okay. Whoa. That's bright. There we go. Ooh, that's got really nice fall off. So, I mean, I guess they're worth it, you know? I definitely, like I said, interiors, now that I'm seeing how it falls off on here, that's making some pretty sexy lighting. Maybe I'll just continue with that. So I had a client reach out to me earlier today and ask if I could do like a hair thing, or it's not actually a hair thing, it's like for a brush. So I was trying to figure out the best way to go about that. I was thinking, man, I could probably just use some hair and make a brush. So something like this. I'm going to add a couple more lights and rotate this around. The bad thing about using IES is it doesn't have the handles that I've become accustomed to, especially now that I haven't used Octane in, God, like, well, I mean, I use Octane still for the lights. It kind of sucks because you can't really see where you're pointing them, but you can see that it handles hair very well in Redshift. So I was thinking, how can I go about making like a brush, like hair brush. Let me see if I can show an example. They wanted like a macro shot of something that looked like this. So I was thinking, how can you go about that? And you can probably do it by having like circles like I'm doing and then scattering those circles or multiplying them. More, no, setting tools, there it is. Large. See if there's another reference image that we can start messing around with. There we go. Something like this. This is kind of how they referenced it, but it was like a little bit more jaggy. So I was thinking, now hair's probably the best way to go about it. I don't need that many. Gonna keep it dynamic but rigid. Count can probably be like 50. No, okay, maybe like 500. If I do 50, maybe it needs to be a lot tighter. Let's tighten this up. Make it really tight like that. Get some bristles in there. I'm gonna pause that, hit play, see if it falls over. Nope, good, the rigid's working. So let's go ahead and throw a hair material on here just for giggles. And so Redshift will read the hair stuff in here, which is really awesome and useful. So if I want to add some like kink to this, it just does it. It's great. So let's say I want like 30% kink, but I only want like a 5% scale on these. No, maybe I want it the other way around. So like 50% scale, but only on 5%. There we go. It's super cool. And it's not doing anything in the viewport. Oh man, did I just crash something? You guys still streaming? Looks like I'm still streaming, just Chrome went down. Nope, Chrome's still up. That's weird. I don't know why that just happened. My second monitor went blank for a second. Boom. It's free. It is not free. There's like a couple hacked versions that you could say are free, but it's old at this point. Like Redshift iterates so fast that you may as well just use the demo, which is free. So let's see. I like that kink there. Tighten it up a little bit in here. Maybe. I guess I'll leave it at that. Density. No. Let's try some like twist in there. There we go. We can put the twisting in there. A bit of variation. I'll do is tighten it up again. Thickness. Let's say we want the root to be like pretty thick. Oh, it was a joke. I mean, Redshift has said that they understand why it got hacked and to treat people nicely in the forums, because they realize people are just wanting to learn the software without watermarks, but they also have to make money. So it's kind of a legitimate question. So let's see. We can fade off a little. I don't think I want to have it fade off that much. Why don't we do like a 1 here? We'll keep it maybe 0.25. Keep it a little bit thick. Where's my reference? I guess it stays pretty steady throughout. Okay, that's fine. Have I questions? Just gonna see. Does not relate to me. Okay, cool. So now that we've got that all set, let's go ahead and take a look at this. So it's not really pulling in the color the way that I would expect it to. Like it should be pulling in the information from the hair. The hair is definitely not gray to brown. Not really. Well, that's good. I mean, that's how I started back in the 90s, was pirated software. So it's the specular's too much. That's what's killing it. Okay. So it's kind of understandable that people do it, especially in the 90s when you didn't have subscription models and cheap. It's like the only way to learn when you're like 10 years old and you want to do stuff, especially like Photoshop, when that used to be like $3,000. I really don't like this whole like viewport flickering thing. That's really obnoxious. I'm hoping it's because I'm streaming. But yeah, let's see. Okay, didn't miss any questions. So I think for this client that inquired, this is probably how I would handle this. I think that's how a lot of people start. It seems like they are into video and videography or video editing, and then they want to start doing motion design. They either break into After Effects or Cinema 4D. So I think I'm going to do another material and put this on the disk here, and we can make this kind of like a brown there. All right, I need some better lighting than this. Let's just do a dome light, HDRI link. Cool. Turn off the background again. Something like that. What graph? I have two 1080 Ti's. I definitely recommend a 3-card setup. If I used to have 3 980 Ti's, and it was great because I could turn off one for my monitors and still render really quickly. But because of just like all the crypto crap that's going on, and not being able to find a card for under $1,000, I just haven't added a 3rd card. How much RAM do I have? I have 64 gigs. Man, it did not used to flicker like this before SP2. So Service Pack 2, I think, screwing up the viewport a little bit. It's not good. Steve, I used to have only water cooled 980. No, actually, that's not true. 2 of my 980 Ti's were water cooled, and one was a blower. I haven't really noticed a difference. So the blower models I have are like based off of Founders Editions. So they blow out the back. They don't have like the fans, and those are the ones that you want. What's up, Angelo? I don't. Oh, there it goes. It says hi now. But if you look right now, and I'm not doing anything heavy at the moment, but I'm getting 56 degrees. And when I had water cooled, I generally ran around like 47 kind of idle, and then working it'd be around 70. And with the stacked blowers, I only get up to like 75, maybe an 80 max. So to save a little bit of money, I would say if you're up to it, buy blower cards and then do a custom water cooler. Don't buy the graphics cards that have the water coolers already installed. It seems kind of like a waste of money. All right, gotta bring this specular way down with extra lighting. I don't need to do that. Okay, cool. $2.5. Got 2.5 slots. Dude, that sucks. Mine are just 2 slots. Right? I'm thinking about how many PCI slots I have. 1, 2. Yeah, they're just 2 slots. All right, so let's see what I can do here. I wonder. Let's see how. It likes this. So if I go into cloner, will it clone on each one? No. That's obnoxious. I never work with hair like this. So let's try radial just to keep it more visible. Update guides. Is that what I need to do? Do I need, I bet I have to put it in a connect, because everything is solved through a connect. Yep, cool. All right, connect. So let's do linear and 0. Let's do 50 this way. Cool. All right, getting somewhere. Yeah, I think, let me just go to Newegg and see Asus 1080 Ti. Man, they're so expensive right now. God. I have these right here, and they've been awesome. I think the only thing that I wish is that my 980 Ti's had 3 HDMI and 3 DVI ports. I missed that here, but that's about it. Yeah, they're nice, except they're really expensive now. I only paid $5.99 for them, I think, back in December. Like that's how much this crypto crap has added on to everything. It's ridiculous. It's getting really, really annoying. Ooh, I don't. Why is it just only allowing 50 hairs total? Okay, so I kind of have to up this. It's not putting 50 on each. Fake energy. Yeah, I mean, I've done some of the mining with like NiceHash and some other stuff, and it's pretty cool to make pretty decent money if you're doing it every day. But I have jobs and like real client work I have to take care of, so it, it's not really feasible all the time for me. Oh yeah, this is almost going in the direction that I want. Cool. Let's see, where are those hairbrush reference? No, I don't want to shop. Let's see. Yeah, something like that. Can I? Just gotta take me to the site, of course. All right, this is good to know. And so the way the client was talking to me is that it's kind of like the brush is on a helix, so I guess I would have to actually do this on an object, and let's throw it on a helix like that. And I guess I would need a rail, maybe. Smooth the rotation. Nah. Buy now. Buy now for what, Blair? For a card or for cryptocurrencies? I think I'm gonna have to rotate that. That's okay. Hairbrush. Yeah, I could use a hairbrush right now. I've been wearing this hat all day. Just add it to my cart. I could just go get one of my wife's from upstairs. That's probably even better. Since Blair's in the chat and I already talked about Brograph's Slack, if you don't know, Blair Walker hosts a podcast called Pro Video Podcast. It's awesome. I think it's weekly, right, Blair? All I know is I listen to it as soon as it comes on, and but they've got an awesome Slack channel as well. You can see it's broken into all these categories. So if you guys are looking for places to ask questions besides just this live stream here, go check out Pro Video and the podcast and their Slack, then Brograph as well. But lots of solid content from Blair and his podcasts, and just so many sources lately. So props to Blair. I don't know that it would actually go like this because it's going to be on an object that spirals, not really a helix. Whatever. This is just a good test. Yeah, plug. Totally, man. I'll plug it every week if you want. Especially, it's Thursday, right? So doesn't a new episode come out tomorrow? Or at least in the States on Friday? Right? Or did one just come out today? One just came out today, isn't it? Because it's, I just saw it in Overcast. Yeah. So it came out today. Cool. Yeah, I've been trying to go on like daily walks. So I always have a podcast to listen to each day. It's really nice, and it works out that you've got one weekly, so I know like every Friday I'll have something to listen to, or I guess Thursday here. I don't know. What did I do? Smooth rotation. That's not what I want. I don't need to fix texture. Fix clone. No. Just render instances doesn't work with this. That makes it heavy. That's all right. I can deal with that. That's weird. Why does the hair kind of still go in that direction? 90. If I rotate it, is it... Do I need to update the hair? Guides, update guide. I gotta update the guides. Okay, that's all right. Just need to be aware of that. All right, cool. Good to know. So I'll do -90. Ooh, that's awesome. I'm excited for Casey. If you guys don't know who Casey is in Division 5, stop watching this and go watch all of Casey's stuff. And it's way more important to your careers than hanging out and doing a Redshift tutorial. Cool, there we go. Put that all together. So I think that's what the guy was saying, this client, and then something Kind of like that. This is looking weird. This is looking like. Is he funny? Because he's definitely funny when his videos are scripted and recorded. So if he's funny in real life too, that makes me really happy. I hope he's going to be at NAB. Blair, are you going to NAB? I know that's like a super hike for you to go to Las Vegas, um, but I figured I'd ask. Oh, so it doesn't really update, even though I've wrote. Why didn't that update? Hold on, that doesn't make sense. X, Y, Z, update guides. All right, I'm gonna go back to this the way it was. Update guide. I broke it. I broke it somehow. I have it going that way, and it's not. Maybe in time if I get sponsors. I hear ya. If I can, if I can ever get Maxon to pay for me to speak somewhere, I'm gonna definitely get them to get me to come speak over over your way. That's weird that it's doing that now. Um, what? Okay, what is happening here? I changed this to be like that, and then I had to add or subtract clones to make it do something. That's just silliness. Look at me, I'm making a crazy daily or something. First, we need them to give me software. Well, that's easy. That's the easy part, software, because once they make it, they're really just kind of selling it to people and giving one away here and there, or giving somebody a license to learn it. That's all part of the business. So I think that's the easy part. Getting them to have like send me somewhere. That's that's really challenging. It does not like this many clones. Man, I'm gonna go down to like 50. All right, I'm just experimenting now. It's already 10 o'clock. I usually wrap it up around now, but this is kind of fun seeing this here. So let's add some of these on here. It's no hair anymore. Maybe we'll just do some milky coffee. Oh, you know what? I should talk to you guys about that right now. If you guys don't know and you haven't updated to 2.5.57 or 5.8, which is a lot more stable, there's new subsurface scattering in it. Yeah, let's hold the phone for a second. Get this on here. Let me do a little fill it. Do like a three works. All right, let's have this is worth talking about. So new subsurface scattering. I'm gonna throw this cube on here, and this is a subsurface scatter one, right? Yep. So I'm just gonna go in and just do like pink skin. Cool. So one thing is it's a little bit slower because it is more accurate, and there needs to be some mathematical changes, because if you look at these edges right in here, they get dark on the edges. It shouldn't be doing that. However, the progress that has been made between the two subsurface scatters are awesome. So it used to be point based, which I'll switch to that now, and you'll see the difference immediately. It's great for like a rough estimate, but you can tell this kind of looks like almost like a cube of fat, but still not rendered 100% correctly. It's like kind of almost like soap. But if you look at these areas in here, you have these kind of nice fall offs, but it's not accurate at all. And then if we do ray trace, and then I get an area light, and let's go ahead and switch that to sphere. Put that like right here. Now you can have lighting coming from inside out or vice versa, because ray traced will actually penetrate into the object and bounce around. So while it needs some work and some cleaning up, one plus to like one more bonus to Redshift is that they're working on this, and just if they get it right and as fast as they keep making other things, I can see this taking off. Because like it's dirty right now. I definitely need to add more samples, especially probably like my light in here. Let's see, yeah, probably like 512, something like that. That's cleaning it up a little bit more, but you have to add a lot more samples, which is kind of a bummer. If they can get that down, that would be great. So I'll do like 1024 and really starts to clean it up. But the only thing they need to do is like fix this edging issue here, and it's golden. I'm super excited for that. Like ketchup, let's just add ketchup in here. Outside of the hard edges, it's just awesome. Potato, which is more like weirdness, which I guess that's how a potato actually looks when you put light through it. What else? We got whole milk. I think this area light's blown it out a bit. What's this at? Yeah, this is probably blown it out too. There we go. So I'm pretty pumped about that. It totally has potential. It's just like some of their algorithm or calculations are a little bit off, because the corners shouldn't get dark like this. We were talking about this on Slack earlier. It should stay pretty consistent throughout. But now that they have like a super accurate one with ray trace, or if you want to do point based and make it a little bit faster but less accurate, then you can do that. It almost seems like they need to combine the two, like have point based for the outside and ray traced for the rest, and then maybe that will fix it. So you do vector art as well. That's cool. Do you have a link to your site or anything? What is this, Matt or Dave? I don't want single scattering. Yeah, Arcade, if you have a link to a portfolio or something, check it out. Let's see. Dave, what's up, Dave? How are you, man? Let's do some brown. So that was fast, and that was ray traced, huh? Oh, that's the other thing. I have bump mapping on. So the other cool thing about ray trace is you can actually see subsurface scattering with progressive on. So if I move around and come over here, subsurface scattering works. If I go to point based, it doesn't work in progressive. You'll see it just kind of sucks. And you actually have to turn on bucket rendering. .3D tracking. I hope it's for something fun. It's an alter ego I made away from my real name, so I'm working on a portfolio. Well, that's cool. I have a bachelor's in graphic design, so I know all about vector art. What's up, Carlos? Thanks for joining. I'm about to roll out of here in a couple minutes. So yeah. Guess one last plug like I did at the beginning. So this one, no. So one last plug before I roll out of here. Go check out brograph.com/Slack and come hang out with us and ask questions. Do I have, well, I myself have a Twitter. It's at _531. I'm just streaming on the Brograph Twitch page and YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this is streaming. We're just kind of like broadcasting everywhere, and then on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, depending on schedules and things like that, they're doing Octane live as well. So twice a week you're getting some live content, and then on Mondays and Tuesdays I try and put out a Redshift tutorial. It's kind of gotten down to about like one a month. I've just been too busy with work, but new Redshift tutorials are coming out at least once a month. I try and do them I was trying to do them every week. As long as I can keep it at one a month, I'll be happy with that, but I want to get back to one a week. Corona tutorials have been coming out pretty regularly now. Coming out of the holidays, it slowed down. Octane tutorials were coming out from like RAID 0, so, you know, Monday morning the podcast will be live. Sweet. So Monday morning the podcast is going to be recording live, which is awesome. So this will be week 2 of a live podcast. You can come in, see how it's recorded, interact. As they're talking about Beeple's People, you can sing along and bring your banjo and have a geode good time. I don't know where I'm going with that, but so that's been really fun. Especially, it's usually in the middle of the day too, which makes it really awesome that you can interact live and take a break from work, or if you're freelance, take a break from writing proposals or whatever, and then talk to these guys, listen to podcasts. It's great. It's kind of like a trifecta effect. So Monday, live podcast. Tuesdays or Wednesdays are usually tutorial releases and live Octane. Thursdays are live Redshift. So it's a whole network of stuff building up. But if you want to learn more about it, interact, come hang out on the Slack. It is poppin'. Like, these are all the channels I'm in. I think there's even some more, but yeah, I'm not even in some of these. So yeah, there's always topics and people to answer questions and do all that. So yeah, if you've been hanging out tonight, thanks so much for joining me and the Brograph channels and everything. I appreciate it. You guys have been coming out every week now for like, I think it's like 6 months now that we've been doing this, and I think there's only been 2 weeks that we haven't streamed. So I appreciate it for everyone who's joined in and become a part of this cool growing Redshift community. All right, guys, thanks so much, and I will talk to you guys soon. See ya.